Enjoy. The hot sun made the car feel like an oven as they drove through the city streets. Behind the bright windshield, his sibling tapped fingers on the dashboard in time with the music. The short trip felt very long inside the small car, but thinking about the pool kept them patient. "The place is like paradise," his sister said, meeting his eyes in the rearview mirror. "There's a pool, a hot tub, and more, thanks to Carolina." He moved his seatbelt, trying to get comfortable as his shirt stuck to him with sweat. Outside the window, neat houses passed by, each one looking almost the same as the last, a sign of a wealthy suburb. The neighborhood looked rich, but not in a flashy way. "There it is." She turned into a driveway lined with flowering bushes. The house sprawled across the lot, all clean lines and huge windows. The lawn looked like something from a magazine, emerald grass cut to mathematical precision, trees positioned just so. Even the mailbox matched the house's cream and brown color scheme. Before they reached the front door, it swung open. Carolina stood there in a fluorescent green bikini that made her tan skin glow. She held a tall glass of lemonade, condensation dripping down the sides. "Finally. I thought you guys melted on the way here." She stepped aside to let them in. "Come on." The AC's cranking. The cold air hit like a wall. He shivered, grateful for the relief. Carolina's house smelled like vanilla candles and something floral. Maybe the huge arrangement on the entry table. "Looking good." Carolina's eyes swept over him, like a butterfly breaking out of its shell or something. His sister laughed. "He's been working out trying to impress someone, I think." "I'm not." He stopped, face heating up. "Whatever you say." Carolina led them through the house. "Pool's out back." "You guys brought suits, right?" His stomach dropped. In the rush to leave, he'd forgotten the most important thing. "I've got mine." His sister patted her beach bag. "I forgot." Carolina turned, eyebrow raised. "Seriously, who comes to a pool party without a swimsuit?" "It wasn't exactly planned." Don't worry about it." She waved him off. "I'll find something. Mom's got a whole closet full of stuff. Wait here." She disappeared down a hallway, leaving them in the living room. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the backyard where the pool sparkled like a jewel. The artificial waterfall at one end created a soothing soundtrack. "Nice place." His sister dropped onto the white leather couch. "Yeah." He stayed standing, nervous energy making it impossible to sit. Carolina returned carrying fabric in her hands. "Okay, found some options." She handed his sister a black one-piece. "This will show off your legs. And the neckline's pretty great for the cleavage situation." "Perfect." His sister held it up, examining the cut. "And for you," Carolina held out something small and pink. "Bottom half of a bikini. It'll match your nails." He looked down at his hands. The pale pink polish his sister had applied last week still looked fresh. Part of losing a bet, he'd claimed, though the truth felt more complicated. "I can't wear that." "Why not?" Carolina tilted her head. "No one else is coming over, just us." "But come on." His sister stood up. "Live a little. Besides, you've got the legs for it." The fabric felt impossibly soft in his hands. Thin straps, minimal coverage. His heart hammered against his ribs. "Bathrooms down the hall." Carolina pointed. "Second door on the left." Inside the bathroom, he stared at himself in the mirror. The overhead lights revealed every detail. The nervous sweat on his forehead, the way his hands shook slightly. He stripped off his clothes, folding them neatly on the marble counter. The bikini bottom slid on easier than expected. The pink fabric stretched perfectly, like it had been made for him. He turned, checking different angles. Something about the way it fit, the way it made his body look, sent a strange thrill through him. A knock made him jump. "You okay in there?" His sister's voice muffled by the door. "Yeah, just give me a second." Deep breath. He opened the door. Both girls had changed into their swimwear. His sister's black one-piece lived up to Carolina's promise, accentuating her figure perfectly. They looked him up and down, and he fought the urge to cover himself. "Damn." Carolina grinned. "I knew it would work. You look great." His sister's approval meant more than he expected. They headed outside, the concrete hot under bare feet. The pool area opened up like a private resort. Lounge chairs arranged just so, umbrellas providing patches of shade. The waterfall creating a peaceful ambience. Drinks. Carolina moved to a bar cart near the sliding door. I've got vodka, rum, whatever you want. Vodka with lemon sounds good. His sister claimed a lounge chair.
Same.
He stood awkwardly, unsure where to position himself. Carolina mixed the drinks with practiced ease, adding fresh lemon slices and ice. She handed them out, then raised her own glass. To Summer and to she looked at him. New experiences. They clinked glasses. The vodka burned, but the lemon helped. He found a chair between the two girls, settling in carefully. The sun felt different on exposed skin, more intense and immediate. You should probably tan your back first. His sister adjusted her sunglasses. Otherwise, you'll have weird lines. Good point. Carolina reached for a bottle of sunscreen. Here, let me help. Her hand spread the lotion across his shoulders, down his back. The touch sent shivers through him despite the heat. When she finished, he stretched out on his stomach, face turned toward his sister. Thanks. No problem. Carolina settled into her own chair. So, tell me about this new job you mentioned. His sister launched into a story about her workplace drama. He let their voices wash over him, mixing with the sound of the waterfall. The vodka created a pleasant buzz, making everything feel softer around the edges. Time passed in a lazy haze. They refilled drinks, shared gossip, complained about the heat. He found himself relaxing in a way he hadn't expected. The initial self-consciousness faded, replaced by something like contentment. You should flip over. His sister poked his shoulder. Even out that tan. He rolled onto his back, adjusting the chair to a slight recline. The sun hit his chest, his stomach, his legs. Everything felt exposed and free at the same time. Much better. Carolina raised her glass in approval. The afternoon stretched on. They talked about movies, music, plans for the rest of summer. He contributed more to the conversation now, the awkwardness melting away like ice in their drinks. I'm getting in. His sister stood up. Too hot. She dove into the pool with practiced grace. Carolina followed, both of them surfacing with shrieks about the temperature. They beckoned him to join, but he shook his head. In a minute, he watched them play in the water, splashing and laughing. The pink bikini bottom had become just another piece of clothing, no longer carrying the weight of transgression. His body felt different. Not wrong, just new. Come on, Carolina, out. The water's perfect. This time he stood, walking to the pool's edge. The concrete burned his feet, making him dance slightly. Both girls treaded water, watching his approach. He jumped. The cold shocked every nerve ending. He surfaced gasping, pushing wet hair from his face. The blonde strands, longer than he usually kept them, clung to his neck and shoulders. There we go. His sister splashed him. Wasn't so bad. They swam lazy laps, floated on their backs, played silly games. The pink bikini moved with him in the water, never feeling out of place. When they finally climbed out, the sun had shifted toward evening. I should get dinner started. Carolina wrapped herself in a towel. You guys staying? If you're offering. His sister squeezed water from her hair. Always. Carolina headed inside. Make yourselves comfortable. I'll throw something together. They returned to the lounge chairs, dripping and satisfied. He noticed how the wet fabric clung differently now, outlining everything more clearly. Instead of covering up, he let it be. Having fun? His sister's question carried weight. Yeah, I am good. She closed her eyes. You seem more yourself today. The words settled into his chest, warm and confusing. He wanted to ask what she meant, but Carolina returned with a tray of snacks to tide them over until dinner. Cheese, crackers, some fruit. She set it on the table between them. The pasta will take about 30 minutes. They grazed and talked as the sun sank lower. The pool lights came on automatically, turning the water into a glowing oasis. He'd stopped thinking about the bikini entirely. Just another part of the day's easy rhythm. We should do this every weekend. Carolina popped a grape into her mouth. Mom's never here anyway. I'm down. His sister stretched. Maybe next time we can invite a few more people. Maybe. He surprised himself by agreeing. Carolina disappeared inside again to check on dinner. His sister dozed in her chair, leaving him alone with his thoughts. The day had shifted something fundamental, though he couldn't name exactly what. "Food's ready," Carolina called from the doorway. They wrapped towels around themselves and headed inside. The dining table was set with real plates and silverware, not the paper stuff he expected. Carolina had changed into shorts and a tank top, both purple. "I made enough for an army." She gestured to the spread. "Pasta, salad, garlic bread. You didn't have to go all out." His sister took a seat. "Please, I never get to cook for people." Carolina served generous portions. "Besides, you guys are practically family." They ate and talked, the conversation flowing as easily as it had by the pool. He found himself laughing more than usual, contributing stories he normally kept to himself. The girls included him naturally, never making him feel like the third wheel. "So, what's the deal with the nails?" Carolina asked eventually, pointing at his hands. "Lost a bet?" He glanced at his sister, who shrugged. "Something like that. I think they look good." Carolina took a sip of wine. "Pink's definitely your color." "Thanks." The compliment landed differently than expected, warming him from inside. After dinner, they helped clean up despite Carolina's protests. Working together in the kitchen felt domestic, comfortable. His sister washed, he dried, Carolina put away. A simple rhythm that somehow meant something. "Movie?" Carolina suggested, once they finished. "I've got a whole list of stuff I've been meaning to watch." They settled in the living room, him in the middle of the couch, still in their towels and swimwear. No one bothered to change. Carolina scrolled through options while his sister offered commentary on each one. "This one." She stopped on a romantic comedy. "I heard it's actually funny." The movie played, but he only half-watched. His attention kept drifting to how different he felt, how the day had unfolded in ways he never expected. The pink bikini bottom had dried completely. Just another piece of fabric against his skin. "You okay?" His sister whispered during a quiet scene. "Yeah, just thinking." She squeezed his shoulder. The touch said more than words could. When the movie ended, they realized how late it had gotten. His sister yawned dramatically, setting off a chain reaction. "You guys can crash here." Carolina turned off the TV. "Guest rooms all set up." "You sure?" His sister was already standing. "Definitely. It's too late to drive, and you both had drinks." They followed her upstairs to a room with 2 beds. Carolina provided oversized t-shirts to sleep in, both from some concert she'd attended years ago. His was red with faded lettering, bathrooms across the hall, extra toothbrushes in the drawer. She paused at the door. "Thanks for coming today. It was fun. Thanks for having us." He meant it completely. Carolina left them to get ready for bed. He changed in the bathroom, carefully folding the pink bikini bottom and setting it on the counter. The red shirt fell to mid-thigh, comfortable and loose. Back in the room, his sister had already claimed one bed. He took the other, sliding under covers that smelled like fabric softener. "Today was good." Her voice carried across the dark room. "Yeah, I mean it. You seemed happy." He stared at the ceiling, processing the truth of her words. I am good. That's all I want for you." Sleep came easier than expected, pulling him under with gentle insistence. He dreamed of water and sunlight, of pink fabric and easy laughter. When morning arrived, it felt like waking into a new world. Carolina made breakfast. Pancakes, bacon, fresh fruit. They ate on the patio, the morning air still cool enough to be pleasant. She'd given him shorts and a yellow tank top to her home, his clothes from yesterday folded in a bag. "Keep the bikini." She said it casually like it meant nothing. "It looks better on you anyway." He nodded, not trusting his voice. His sister smiled behind her coffee mug. The drive home passed quickly, both of them quiet but comfortable. His sister kept the radio low. Some indie station playing songs he didn't recognize. The suburbs gave way to their neighborhood. Familiar streets leading back to regular life. "Want to do something later?" She pulled into their driveway. "Maybe go shopping." "Shopping?" He raised an eyebrow. "Yeah. Thought you might want some new clothes." "Summer stuff?" The invitation hung between them, loaded with possibility. He thought about the pink bikini in his bag, about how right it had felt yesterday. Okay. Yeah, let's go shopping. Her smile brightened the whole car.
Cool.
Give me an hour to shower and stuff. Inside, he headed straight to his room. The bag sat on his bed, like a question mark. He pulled out the bikini, holding it up to the light. Such a small thing to carry such weight. His phone buzzed. Carolina had sent a photo from yesterday. All three of them by the pool laughing at something. He looked happy in a way that shocked him. Natural, right? He saved the photo, then opened his closet. Most of his clothes seemed wrong now, too heavy and dark for summer. Maybe shopping wasn't such a bad idea. An hour later, his sister knocked on his door. She'd changed into a sundress, white with small blue flowers. Her hair was still damp from the shower. Ready? He grabbed his wallet. Where are we going? The mall first, then maybe some smaller places downtown. She studied him. We'll find stuff that fits. The words carried double meaning. He appreciated her care, the way she made this feel normal instead of momentous. At the mall, she led him through stores he'd never entered before. Not straight to the women's section, but starting with unisex items, shirts that could go either way, shorts with ambiguous cuts. She held things up, considering colors and styles. This would look good. A green t-shirt, soft and fitted, brings out your eyes. He tried things on. Each piece a small experiment. Some felt wrong immediately. Others surprised him with their rightness. His sister waited outside the changing room, offering opinions when asked, but never pushing. How about this? He emerged in khaki shorts and a coral polo. The color made his skin glow.
Perfect.
Very summer prep. She grinned. Carolina would approve. They bought several bags worth. His wardrobe expanding in directions he hadn't imagined. Nothing too dramatic, just clothes that felt more true to whoever he was becoming. One more stop. She led him to a smaller boutique downtown. Inside, the clothes skewed more feminine, but in subtle ways. She browsed while he stood near the door, suddenly nervous again. Just looking. She must have sensed his discomfort. No pressure. But then he saw it. A simple sundress in pale yellow. Nothing fancy, just clean lines and soft fabric. His feet moved without permission, drawn to touch the material. Want to try it? His sister appeared at his elbow. I don't know. The fitting room's private. No one will see. The dress slipped over his head like water. It fell just above his knees, the skirt swishing when he turned. In the mirror, someone new looked back. Not quite male, not quite female, but something in between that felt honest.
Can I see?
His sister's voice gentle outside the door. He opened it slowly. Her eyes widened, then softened. Oh, you look beautiful. The word hit him in the chest. Beautiful. Not handsome, not good, but beautiful. Tears threatened, but he blinked them back. Should I get it? Do you want it? He nodded, not trusting speech. Then yes, absolutely yes. They left with the dress wrapped in tissue paper, precious cargo for the journey home. His sister chatted about dinner plans, about maybe inviting Carolina over next weekend, about anything except the magnitude of what had just happened. At home, he hung the dress in his closet next to his new clothes. The yellow stood out among his older things, a spot of sunshine in the darkness. He ran his fingers over the fabric one more time before closing the door.
Hey.
His sister leaned against his doorframe. I'm proud of you. For what? For being brave. For trying things. For letting yourself explore. The tears came then, sudden and unstoppable. She crossed the room and pulled him into a hug, holding tight while he shook. It's okay. You're okay. I've got you. When the storm passed, he pulled back, wiping his face. I don't know what I'm doing. No one does. That's the secret. She smiled. But you're figuring it out, and that's what matters. That night, he wore the new pajamas they'd bought. Shorts and a camisole in soft gray. They felt right against his skin, like everything was slowly clicking into place. He thought about calling Carolina, about thanking her for yesterday, but decided to wait. Some things needed time to settle. Over the following weeks, changes came gradually. He grew his blonde hair longer, started taking better care of his skin, paid attention to details he'd previously ignored. The pink nail polish became a constant, touched up whenever it chipped. Carolina's house became a regular hangout spot. They'd swim, talk, experiment with clothes and makeup in her massive bathroom. She never made it feel like dress up or pretend, just friends hanging out and having fun. "You should pierce your ears," she suggested one afternoon. All three of them lounging by the pool again. He touched his earlobes, considering maybe I know a good place. His sister sat up. "Super clean, not too expensive. I'll think about it." But the seed was planted. That night he studied his face in the bathroom mirror, imagining small studs or delicate hoops. Another step in a direction that felt increasingly inevitable. His parents noticed the changes, but said nothing directly. His mom mentioned his hair looked nice longer. His dad asked if he needed new razors, then didn't push when he said no. They moved around the truth carefully, everyone adjusting to a new reality. "There's someone I want you to meet," Carolina announced one day. "My cousin. She's visiting next week." "Okay." He wasn't sure why she seemed so excited. "She's trans. Transitioned like 5 years ago, I thought." Carolina trailed off. "Maybe you'd like to talk to her." The word hung in the air.
Trans.
He'd thought it, researched it, but hearing it applied to him felt different. Scary and thrilling at once. "Yeah, I'd like that." The cousin Rebecca turned out to be everything he needed. Tall and confident with natural grace, she treated his questions seriously, without pushing any agenda. They talked for hours while Carolina and his sister gave them space. "The thing is," Rebecca said over coffee, "only you can know what's right. But from what I'm seeing, you already do. What if I'm wrong? Then you try something else. Nothing's permanent unless you want it to be." She smiled. "But honestly, I don't think you're wrong." That night, he wore the yellow sundress around his room, just walking, sitting, existing in it. When his sister knocked, he didn't rush to change.
"Come in."
She found him at his desk, still in the dress. "Homework, just thinking about." He spun in his chair to face her. "About everything about who I am. And I think I'm a girl." The words felt enormous leaving his mouth. "I think I've always been a girl." His sister crossed the room and hugged him. Her tight. "Thank you for telling me. You already knew." "Maybe, but it matters that you said it." She pulled back. "So, pronouns, name, what do you need?" They talked through the logistics. She felt right immediately. The name took longer, cycling through options until one clicked. Emma, simple, classic, completely hers. "Emma," her sister tried it out. "I like it. It suits you." Coming out happened in waves. Carolina squealed and hugged her for 5 minutes straight. Her parents took longer to adjust, but came around with surprising grace. Friends scattered across a spectrum of reactions, showing her who truly mattered. She started hormones after months of therapy and waiting. The changes came slowly. Softer skin, gentle curves, a face that finally matched her internal image. Her blonde hair grew past her shoulders, no longer needing the wigs she'd considered. "Remember this?" Carolina held up the pink bikini during one of their pool days. Emma laughed. "How could I forget? Want to know a secret? I bought it specifically for you that day you were coming over." Carolina grinned. "I had a feeling. You set me up." "I provided an opportunity." Carolina tossed the bikini to her. "The rest was all you." Emma changed into it, marveling at how different her body looked now. The hormones had been kind, giving her modest curves that filled out the top she could finally wear. She'd bought the matching piece months ago, completing the set.
Perfect.
Her sister appeared with sunscreen. "Just like I knew you would be." They spent the day like so many others, swimming, talking, simply existing in comfortable companionship. Emma floated on her back, staring at the sky through her sunglasses. The journey from that first awkward day to now felt both endless and instant. "Hey, Emma," Carolina called from her chair. "Yeah, thanks for trusting us, for letting us be part of this." Emma smiled, feeling the sun on her face, the water supporting her body, the brightness of being herself. "Thanks for the bikini." They laughed, the sound carrying across the water and into the perfect summer day. Tomorrow would bring its own challenges, but right now, everything aligned exactly as it should. The pink bikini had become just another swimsuit in her collection, but she kept it separate from the others, a reminder of first steps, of possibility recognized and embraced. Sometimes she held it up to the light, remembering the boy who'd been terrified to try it on. She felt grateful to him for his courage. Without it, Emma might never have emerged into the light, never discovered the woman she was meant to be. The transformation was complete, not because she'd reached some final destination, but because she'd accepted the journey itself. Her blonde hair dried in the sun as she climbed out of the pool. No more hiding, no more pretending, just Emma, fully herself, surrounded by people who loved her exactly as she was. The girl who'd always existed inside, finally free to live in the world. That night, as they watched another movie in Carolina's living room, Emma felt the deep contentment of alignment. Every part of her, body, mind, spirit, finally sang the same song. The yellow sundress she wore felt like a second skin, perfect and true. "I love you guys." The words slipped out during a quiet scene. Her sister squeezed her hand. Carolina threw an arm around her shoulders. They didn't need to respond with words. Their presence said everything necessary. The movie played on, but Emma barely watched. Instead, she marveled at the simple perfection of the moment. Three women, friends beyond measure, sharing space and time and unconditional acceptance. The journey to get here had been worth every uncertain step. When they finally headed home, Emma sat in the passenger seat, watching familiar streets pass by. Same houses, same trees, same route they'd driven that first day, but everything looked different through her eyes now. Brighter, more real. Happy? Her sister glanced over. "Yeah." Emma smiled. "Really happy?" And she was completely, authentically, finally happy. The girl she'd always been had found her way into the world, and the world had made room for her to exist. No greater gift existed than that simple, powerful truth. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.